have been working with Pure for over 10 years. And it's been really interesting to see how Pure has developed over these 10 years. The bit that hasn't is the impact template. And whilst activities have had changes to them and kind of redesigns, they haven't really developed in the way that a lot of other areas have done. And I think more and more, I was kind of heartened to see Davina say this morning when we were talking through some where she wants to go with some of the integrations work, is that data models, consistent data models, is where things are falling down, and we know that that is an issue when it comes to Pure. And I think so when I'm talking about activities, we know what activities mean in Pure. I've got to say I include prizes in that as well, and maybe the media as well. Anything that our researchers are doing to promote their research, to push out, to promote knowledge exchange, engagement. That's all the kind of things that I'm talking about here. So this is just a quick idea. This is just my institution. Thinking about all the ways that we collect activities information, all the way that we use activities information that we collect. And from the top, we're talking about institutional level, right down to individuals at the bottom when they're thinking about their own career development. That's a list that is growing all the time. Things like accreditation are really key, important aspects of areas like our business school, our geography departments. They need these international accreditations. And the thing that really strikes me with this, when we're talking about these kind of data and the range of it here, is we need it a lot. We need it for a lot of things, and yet it's not consistent. There isn't a data model that we're all using, and we're just kind of fudging it together with a lot of stuff and hoping it works. And my phone has just locked. So why do they defy standardization? I think the list that I've just looked at, okay, there is a range of requirements there. Some of them require aggregated information. They require some stats at the top that we can tell our executive boards about what brilliant stuff we're doing. And then right down to the bottom stuff, we talk about narrative CVs a lot over the past couple of days. There is a narrative element there, and I think those two things don't always sit particularly well together. Inconsistencies in data collection practices. From a UK point of view, we are talking Pure and ResearchFish here. That is the two systems that we put our activities, that we require our academics to put their activities into, and they're not consistent across the two. That's even if we're not even talking here about them having to put it manually into two different systems, they have to put it in differently, think about it differently when they're putting it in. And that's, we shouldn't be doing that right now. And I think the lack of clarity here as well, we're thinking, why is it we're collecting some of this stuff? What is it we want to do with it? And I think it's really easy to ask for more information, isn't it? To say we need more information, we want to know more of what's going on. And I think, the funders maybe ask for a huge amount of information. I wonder how much of it they use, considering the amount of time and effort that we're putting it in. So all of these kind of issues feed into maybe why it hasn't been standardized so far. That kind of narrative element that keeps coming up when it comes to, really? Already? Oh my gosh. Right, I'm going to speed up. We know what we can achieve with a data model. I don't need to talk about that. I have lied slightly. I don't have a grand design. I'm not here to tell you how to do it. Thinking about this over the past few years, I do think about this a lot. I think there are some key principles. If you want to call them the K principles, I'm not going to argue. They're not quite as snazzy as the 5 Cs, but they've got the same kind of ideas behind them. It needs to be inclusive and connected. It needs to be measurable and standardized. These are all really obvious things when we think about putting a data model together. Again, I don't have a plan. There is no plan. I'm asking. This is a challenge, and I think it's a challenge out to all of us. One of the things I didn't say at the beginning, but was in my bit of text, was we've seen what can be done as a community. We've seen the work on Serif and other kind of standardized models when it comes to outputs data, and we know the importance that has had with being able to move forward with our systems. So we could say, challenge, Pure, Interfolio, ResearchFish. over to you. Make sure your two systems work together. But that's just two systems working together. And my question to everybody, to us as a community, is to say, is there a role for us in this? And actually, should we all be working together, Elsevier, Interfolio, us, to say, how do we want to pull an activities data model together that isn't just for use in these two systems, that is agnostic, that is a serif type system that then would be able to go out and work in all of our other systems and do other stuff. But obviously that is on us to think about how we might do that.